everyone, my name is Melanie if you are new here. Today I decided to do a video on how to make friends in your 20s. I just so happen to be 22. Yo tengo 22. I thought this video would be helpful. I wanted to share some advice with you guys because I find making new friends a very natural and exciting part about life, but I understand that that's not how it feels for a lot of other people. And I also understand that we're never really taught how to make friendships and maintain friendships. It's something that we kind of learn in life, and when friendships don't fit, how to let them go, when to let them go. Like, there are so many factors that comes into making new friends, and it can be really scary and intimidating, especially if you really feel very lonely. I think that when you start to make friends from a lonely place, it's really hard because it kind of feels like every friendship is life or death, basically. But I'm here to help you out. We're just doing it super chill. I originally had an idea to call my friends and do interviews with my friends in person, and my friends that I've had since childhood and my new friends that I've made in my 20s. I'm just gonna do it chill. If you guys would like to see a video like that, let me know and I'd be super happy to do that. And I know a lot of my friends would be super happy to participate. A fun little background for you guys is I was actually homeschooled loosely because I wasn't really at home doing school. I was taking classes out and about. I learned from a very young age how to make friends because I had to go out and pursue making friends. So I'm a very social person. I really love to make new friends. It makes me so incredibly excited. I also want to say this is how to make friends in your 20s, right? But this applies to any part of life. This applies to if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 50s, if you're in high school. All of these tips and tricks work. I haven't made a list. I haven't scripted this. I am solely working off what's in here right now. So I'm just gonna talk about what I think is important, and it might be a little bit jumbled, but I think nonetheless it'll be good advice. So here we go. Making a new friend. Where do you start? Where do you go? You're in your room, you're like, I'm so alone. Like, I literally have no friends. Maybe my mom is my best friend, which also, like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I actually love my mom so much, and I'm so happy I had her to be my best friend for some years. The place I would tell people to start is, well, okay, this actually brings up an interesting point. You have to start with yourself. Like, you have to be friends with yourself. I know some people really don't like to do things alone, and that's totally justified. But I also think getting to know ourselves is so important. Getting to understand what we even like to do is the first step, because it comes with trial and error. It really depends on what you gravitate towards. So what I would say is you have to get to know yourself first, because from there you can then spring off and make new friends. And I think that there's always something comforting knowing that you can be your own best friend. I feel like if I'm not my own best friend, I can be in a group of 20 people and feel incredibly alone, because I'm not staying true to myself, or I'm not showing up authentically, and then I get disconnected, you know? The way I've made friends in my 20s is going to things. So I went to salsa classes, I went to bachata classes. By the way, I go to these things alone, which I know sounds scary, but I find that when you go places alone, you actually keep yourself so open to anybody that so many friendships can come in. This with a grain of salt, do what you're comfortable with, but I like to go new places alone. Or maybe if you have a friend that you're like, oh, like, I know I could make friends with this friend around. Like, for me, my friend Courtney, like, I could make friends with her when we go out. We went to a concert and we made a new friend, and we were trying to take a selfie, and she offered to take our photo, and we ended up hanging out the whole entire concert, got each other's phone numbers, and we can hang out now. Things like that. So concerts are great. Events are amazing. Like, any free event, really. Like, there can be a lot of really cool free events. I can go surfing, I can go snowboarding, skiing. I worked in a snow town for a few months, and I made some of my closest friends that feel like family. I made my friend Courtney from TikTok. So online can be used as a way to get to know new people. Another random way I've made friends was I was in a Facebook group looking for an apartment, and one of the girls was like, I already have my apartment, like, but you seem really cool, because I kind of put a description of myself and things that I like to do. And she's like, I'd love to hang out sometime. So it's really finding something that you really enjoy that aligns with you and maybe even your values and going to it. Maybe going a few times. And what has helped me so much, I don't even know where I heard this. It might have been my mom. It might have been something I heard along the way, or it's maybe something I thought up. I really don't know. But going in with the intention of making only one new friend can make such a big difference. I feel like it takes such a big pressure off for me, and it really helps me like own in on like, oh, that person was actually fun to talk to. Oh, I didn't really vibe with that person. That's okay. I feel like going in with the intention of making one new friend is such a beautiful intention. Something that helped me going into places alone or just trying new things, or really going to places I know there will be a lot of people. I've always thought that everybody could be my friend in that room, right? Like, though you never know. And I heard this from a YouTuber, actually, Purple Palace. I'll link her channel somewhere. She was saying that she walks into every room believing that everybody loves her. And why would they not love her? And I love that because I felt like even if there are parts of us that are shy or maybe a little bit like scared to show people, it's like, well, everybody here loves me anyway, so why would they think otherwise? I think that sometimes we go into situations like, I don't know if anyone's gonna like me, this and that, like I'm kind of weird. But everybody's a little bit weird, and that's what makes us super cool. It's also like going up to people and saying, hey, I really like your shirt. Like I'll do that all the time in coffee shops, like, I actually really love your shoes. I used to get just that point and they're like, oh, thank you. End a conversation, right? But then you go like, oh, what's your favorite thing to order here? Or you just spark something else that's going on in your environment that you can both share. And sometimes you get to talking and you share Instagrams or whatever it might be, but it doesn't have to always turn into a friendship. It can just be a fun interaction. But it's just putting yourself out there. I guess that's what everybody says, but it's like, okay, how do I put myself out there? Where do I even start? Find an event, find something you really enjoy and go. It's not a sprint, you know, it's not a race to have all the friends in the whole entire world. And also some people aren't gonna like you. I remember when I was younger, I went to the park. I was like, I don't know, I was maybe 4 or 5, and I was like, I just go up to people. I just literally say, hey, do you want to be my friend? Like, that's literally how I approached it. And some people would be like, yeah. There was one girl that was like, no. And I was like, why? And the girl was like, I just don't want to. I was like, okay, bye. And then I went to go, meet someone else. But that's literally how I met my best friend of 10 years. I just asked if they wanted to be my friend. Over 10 years of the most amazing, meaningful friendship I've probably ever had in my whole entire life. So it gets me emotional thinking about it, actually. But the way we make friends when we're younger is how we make friends when we're older as well. I don't know, I think finding new hobbies where you can meet new people is a great place to start for community. The most magical thing about making new friends is that if you make one new friend and they have other friends and you get to know their friends, sometimes you'll click with somebody else that they're friends with more than the original friend. It becomes this like multiplying game at a certain point, and you just kind of create this beautiful, loving community. Even maybe writing down what kind of community you want. Even going to new bars, going to restaurants. The thing is that if you don't like to drink, if you don't like to go out and party, don't go to those places to hopefully find new friends, because that's probably what they're going to be into. However, there are exceptions in all of these situations. Also, I think what's important is really valuing the friends we do have. Sometimes I'm like, I want new friends, I want this new energy, which is awesome, but I think sometimes we kind of forget of the friends we do have and how to cherish them and how to make sure those friendships blossom too. That kind of leads me to another point, which is maintaining friendship. So say you met someone at your pottery class, they were really cool, you guys went and got lunch one time, and then you initiated that conversation, and then you guys were like, oh my god, that was so much fun, I'm so happy we did that, and then you don't hear anything from them, and you're like, okay, I'm waiting for them on their turn. There's no such thing as turns. There's no such thing as a scorecard, but it does have to be mutual. Like, friendships have to be mutual. I have one friend who I love dearly, but never ever reaches out to hang out, which is okay because we had a conversation about it. And I was like, do you hate me? And he was like, no, I don't hate you. I actually love you so much. I just am going through a hard time, and I'm also just so bad at reaching out. So I don't like to reach out that much, but he's worth it to me. He is an amazing friend, and I really cherish our friendship, so I'm gonna put in effort to do that. But for the most part, I like my friendships to be very mutual. Like if I don't reach out in a few weeks, they're asking to hang out. That might not happen at the beginning of a friendship because everybody's kind of like not sure, especially when we're in our 20s. We're a little bit more busy with work and all these things. Sometimes just asking if they want to hang out or having an idea of something to do or just saying hello will spark a conversation. It's all about the little sparks that turn into meaningful, amazing friendships. For a little while, I did the Bumble BFF thing. I can't say that I would recommend it because I never actually met up with anyone. I just like texted people, but it also is another way to make new friends. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. I know that sounds super old lady and grandma of me, but it's true. Facebook has some really awesome groups where you can meet people around your same age, and there are so many points I could make. So with the Facebook groups, you can join one of the meetups that somebody else already has. But the most amazing thing is if you start a meetup, maybe one person will come, right? But hey, one person could be your best friend. Like it's all of these opportunities, it's all these unknowns. And I think that's why maybe I've become quite addicted to making new friends, because it's these unknown relationships with other people that could literally change your whole entire life by one action of you going to something. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit passionate about this, but so maintaining a friendship, right? Checking in, saying hey. It's really about if you put your energy out there, you're gonna receive. That is how the world naturally works. If it's constant, you asking to hang out, maybe there's another friendship. Or here is the other thing no one tells you, but you learn along the way. Sometimes you have to talk to your friends about uncomfortable things, okay? So we're thinking about relationships, right? Hey, so romantic relationships, what's the one thing you are going to be doing almost constantly that is essential to having a healthy and beautiful relationship? Communicating. So why would it be different for a friendship, you know? I'm going to give you a really lovely example. This was a moment when I realized one of my friends, Ember, was actually a real one, and not just kind of like a floating around acquaintance. So my friend Ember at the time lived in New York, so I flew out there and I stayed with Ember. What had happened is one night she had a few friends over, we were all hanging out, and they started smoking cigarettes. Personally, that is not my thing. I actually hate cigarettes. Like, they really just make me so uncomfortable for a multitude of reasons. So I was like, I have to call someone. And so I went into another room. I called them the whole entire time. It was my mom or my brother or something. I was like, they're smoking cigs. I want to go. And long story short, the next morning, Ember actually approached me. She's like, I'm sorry if you felt uncomfortable. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you brought this up. I felt so uncomfortable. This was not a fun time for me. And she was like, I'm so sorry. That's not going to happen again. And we just had a good convo. And I was like, okay, Ember's a real one. Like, even though it was so small, it was like we had a conversation about something that wasn't like butterflies and rainbows and was maybe going to be a little uncomfortable, and we got through it and our relationship grew. So that's the thing, like our relationships grow if we put the effort into it and we communicate. It's putting two different people from two different upbringings, two different places, whatever it might be, and joining our lives together. And it can be the most rewarding thing. It can also be the most heartbreaking thing. But the way to maintain friendships is by communicating. Another thing I want to touch on is childhood friends, because I have a lot of childhood friends still in my life. They've seen me through so many different phases of life, and how beautiful is that, you know? The funny thing about childhood friendships is that, at least mine, personally, almost all of my childhood friendships, we were really close when I was younger, and then kind of fell off for a moment. Like, didn't talk to them at all, never really talked. And then at some point, kind of in high school or late high school, we had reconnected and started our friendship back again. This was the case for my friend Rachel. This was the case for my friend Cameron. And these are two friendships that I hold so close to my heart. The funny thing was that it wasn't like this whole big, like, oh, I don't see Rachel anymore. Like, there was a whole big thing. It was really that we needed to grow separately because we were so young when we first met, and we turned into other people. But our essences and cores stay the same, and also sometimes our hobbies end up matching up. So Rachel and I both really enjoy clothes and fashion, so we could reconnect on that when we were a little bit older. Cameron and I don't even know how we ended up hanging out again, but we just like to have deep conversations about history and all kinds of things. With those friendships from childhood, they might fall off for a while, but if you guys have shared qualities, then maybe they'll pick back up. You just never know. I really believe that people are placed into our lives for specific reasons and for different lessons, for different times in our lives, and sometimes those people we outgrow, and that's okay, and it's actually really beautiful. And by letting go of old friendships sometimes leaves room for new amazing friendships. I'm going to give you another really cool example of a friendship that I made recently. I went to this salsa social thing. Salsa is usually a lot older folks, but in this case, I went to a place in Santa Monica. It's a very young crowd. A lot of people are just trying salsa for fun, because why not? And I went to the salsa thing. I went to go dance, learn a little bit. And I was sitting in the corner and I saw this girl and she was so pretty. I was like, oh, she's a model. She came across the room and she was like, hey, I don't know why, but I just felt your energy was really great. And I wanted to come and talk to you. And I was like, I'm so happy you came and talked to me, because I was feeling the same way. Like, your energy seemed just so good. And we're friends now. Like, we've gone on hikes. We have a lot of commonalities. In fact, it's a little scary how much we have in common. But yeah, it's funny. And like I almost call it like a first friend date. Like that. It's kind of like a first date, but for friends, it can be nerve-wracking. Like, it can feel very nervous, like you're going on a first date, but just relax into it, enjoy your time, try to get to know the other person and ask questions. That's so exciting. Like, we have these whole new people that have already had a whole life. Like, if you're in your 20s and you're making new friends or anything above, like, how exciting is that? We've already lived so much life and we get to know somebody else. Like, there's so much to get to know. So also understanding that sometimes you're not going to be in the mood to hang out with friends, and that's okay. And if you turn down a friend one night and it feels like the end of the world, don't worry, it's not. Because if they are really meant to be in your life, they will be. I'm trying to think of any other ways I've made friends recently. So TikTok was another one. I posted a video like, are there any people that like to go out and have fun, but also like to be into mindfulness and all this stuff? And apparently my friend Courtney, she saw me comment on a different video. She went to my profile, saw that video, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's cool. So she commented on my video. I ended up really liking her TikToks, and we ended up meeting up with like one of her mutual friends as well. So that's another thing. Like, you can meet up with strangers from the internet with another friend if it feels nerve-wracking to you. Doing sports, going out, being out in the world, you're gonna meet new people. If you're open to it, if you're kind, it's gonna be great. Let the energy move in and out of new friendships and cherish the ones we have. So I can also ask some of my friends like what they think about making new friends, what they think about maintaining friendships. I probably have missed a few things, but these are the main things that I just wanted to say and give advice for. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'm so happy to help you on your journey. For now, I'm happy to be your friend, and I know it's different because you're just watching a screen, but sometimes knowing that we're not alone is already enough. Like, my favorite ways that I've made friends has always been unexpected. Oh, and one last little tip, just smile. Or smile to anyone you see, because it makes you seem friendly. Hopefully you are friendly. Whether you make a new friend or not, you're at least smiling. You're at least brightening up someone's day, possibly. Smiling is such a awesome way to let people in, and very approachable. Think about it if you were in somebody else's shoe, you know? Like, if you were on the other end, would you walk to somebody that is smiling or someone that has like a little model face? Probably the person that's smiling. So yeah, pretty much everybody wants friends, so remember that when you go into it. And the last little tip I'm gonna give you guys is just check in on your friends every once in a while, like the ones you have, the ones you've had in the past. Just say, hey, how's it going? You doing okay? How's life? Just wanted to check in. It feels so good to be checked in on. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Okay, that's the mic drop for the end of the video. I hope this video helped you guys out. Please let me know if it did, and if you have any questions, if I should touch on anything else. I will probably think of like a million things tonight of things I maybe missed out, but maybe I'll make like a part 2 or something. So let me know. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I really appreciate you watching this. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. I'm really hoping to make awesome content from my heart, from my soul to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya! Hey, hey, hey.